100 years. They're doing that through the channel of the UN. They are saying that chiefly they want to jointly manage Gibraltar Airport, and they want to have some of the terminal on the Gibraltar side because they believe that that part was not ceded to them 300 years ago.
Now, a study has found that there may be twice the number of gorillas in West Africa than previously thought, over 300,000. But 80% of them live outside protected areas. Western lowland gorillas live in the very remote forests of Cameroon and other West African countries. Well, the BBC's Helen Briggs has investigated the report, and she's found that despite the good news, gorillas are still in danger of extinction. It's due to guns, germs and deforestation.
These are the three big threats to the gorillas. So guns really means hunting, means poaching. Germs is the Ebola virus, which lingers in the forests and affects gorillas from time to time. And when it does affect them, they have big die-offs, so they can lose whole populations. And trees are the essential habitat in which they live. They need these very dense, remote, intact forests in order to survive.
So tell us a little bit more, because the scientists, they found these populations that they weren't expecting.
That's right, yes. So it's the biggest survey of its kind. So they surveyed thousands of kilometres. They looked for gorilla nests, and they did a lot of number crunching and came up with these estimates, which are possibly twice what we thought were there. So a glimmer of hope for gorillas. There's more out there, but the populations still have been falling over the time they were surveyed. They're still critically endangered, and they're very, very vulnerable to a number of threats.
There's always a but, isn't there? So just explain to us this decline.
The big thing is that 80% of them are living outside national parks in unprotected areas. So the key thing is to keep up anti-poaching efforts, which really means having guards to deter poachers. It's completely illegal to poach gorillas and also chimpanzees, which are also studied in the survey, but it does happen. And then in the long term, the big thing is protecting the forests. So you've got to have these remote forests, and of course logging is going on, and you can have gorillas and chimps living alongside if they're protected properly, and that means leaving a lot of the trees. So any sort of monoculture where you're replacing a lot of the forests with palm oil or with rubber means that you can't have these charismatic animals as well.
So the problem here is that because these populations are found in these unprotected areas, then the scientists, the experts will have to really look at those areas too.
The beauty of this sort of work is they actually now know more about where gorillas are out there and how you can protect them, because they looked at all sorts of threats, how close they were to roads, how close to human habitation, a really, really big study looking at all these different risk factors. So they have the evidence there to make the decisions on where to spend conservation